Golden State Valkyries got against the Fever, but I don't know what it is. I believe it's StephanieWhite play calling, the way she's orchestrating her offense, and defensively, they just can't do nothing at all. I get why she do certain schemes defensively, but at some point you have to talk to Breonna January like, hey, look here, player, this ain't working. And that's exactly what she need to do. Now, with that being said, we have Sophie Cunningham exposing major news about WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert possibly being out the door.
This is the moment everything reached its breaking point. The Indiana Fever coaching situation has become the center of intense controversy, and the latest claims coming from around the team have sparked even more questions about what is happening behind the scenes. For weeks, fans have questioned head coach StephanieWhite's decisions involving CaitlinClark. They have pointed to questionable play calls, stretches where Clark appeared less involved offensively, and moments when the team struggled to maximize its biggest star. Now, shocking allegations are circulating that White wanted to take even more drastic action against Clark, with claims that the coach considered suspending her. If true, that would represent an extraordinary escalation involving one of the most recognizable players in women's basketball. But these claims remain allegations, and no verified evidence has established that White actually plotted such a suspension. Still, the speculation has created another wave of discussion surrounding the Fever, their coaching staff, and Clark's future with the organization. Clark has also faced growing pressure to respond as fans continue demanding answers about her role and relationship with the team. Meanwhile, other prominent basketball figures have been pulled into the conversation, adding even more attention to an already complicated situation. To understand how the controversy reached this point, you have to examine Indiana's recent performances, including the matchup against the Dallas Wings. That game generated criticism over the Fever's offensive execution, decision-making, and overall performance. What followed was another wave of debate about whether Indiana is properly using Clark's talents. Now, with emotions running high and speculation spreading rapidly, the biggest question is whether the Fever can calm the situation before it becomes an even bigger problem.
I watched it from the fourth quarter.
Sure. So from what you watched, what did you see about what the Wings did when it comes to being able to stop them? Like, did that teach you anything about what you happened?
I think Dallas had obviously a really solid game plan. They played well against Indy for the whole season, right? Like, they won the series. That's what they said on TV. Please check me. But I think what they did well defensively was they limited them to one shot. When the ball went up, they made sure that there was a contest high hand and then went after. Walk had an amazing game, obviously being a huge rim protector. So we need that kind of presence and, knowing that there's different people on the floor and you have to guard them at different lengths. Some you have to be tight, some you have to be off.
Did you watch the Wings game last night?
She said it was the defense that pretty much did that to the Fever. Now, Breonna Stewart is one that has not shied away from unloading on the Indiana Fever. Now, with that being said, moving on to the next part of the video, we have to talk about this Kathy Engelbert situation. I believe this story's bigger than a lot of people think it is. This is very big for the
fans had paid big money to fill the arena, expecting to watch CaitlinClark's long-range shooting and dynamic offensive play. Instead, the Fever were criticized for looking slow, predictable, and disconnected on offense. Clark appeared less involved, the pick-and-roll opportunities were limited, and Dallas repeatedly pressured her without Indiana making enough adjustments to create easier opportunities. The result was a disappointing performance that quickly became a major talking point among fans. Inside the arena, frustration grew, while social media erupted with criticism of the coaching staff and calls for changes. As the reaction intensified, speculation about StephanieWhite's future began spreading rapidly. Then came the more serious allegations. According to unverified reports circulating online, White was furious after the loss and allegedly questioned Clark's execution and attitude behind closed doors. Some claims even suggested that White wanted the organization to consider disciplinary action against Clark for what was described as detrimental conduct. If such a request actually occurred, it would represent an extraordinary escalation between a head coach and a franchise superstar. However, there is an important distinction between online claims and confirmed facts. No verified evidence has established that White attempted to suspend Clark or deliberately sabotage her. Still, the allegations have fueled a much larger debate about the relationship between Clark, the coaching staff, and the Fever organization. Instead of calming the situation, the rumors have created even more uncertainty. And once the speculation reached fans and basketball media, the reaction became impossible to ignore. What began as criticism over one disappointing performance had transformed into a much bigger conversation about accountability, leadership, and whether Indiana has the right environment to maximize its most important player.
Unwatchable basketball. I said last night was in the top 3 hardest games to watch of the season. It was brutal. God dog, last night was boring. In fact, I said last night during the watch party that only the WNBA could have a battle between what's supposed to be 2 of their top 5 biggest stars, Paige Beckers and CaitlinClark. Only in the W could the WNBA figure out how to take a game like that, make it close for most of the game, and it be boring as hell. That's some W shit. That happens a lot in this league. A lot in this league. Vanderbilt fever. CaitlinClark literally got tackled. StephanieWhite just sits there with her arms crossed, sniffing and twitching. Congratulations, Stephanie Weatherspoon. Oh, damn. Shout out to Teresa Weatherspoon. Whoa. Lethargic performance. That's on the coach. I mean, that's just all there is to it. StephanieWhite, rhythm-killing circle the wagons offense. God. Well, just make one more pass. I dare you. Make one more pass. You all need a new coach, just saying. You simply can't just drive to the hoop every offensive play.
And that is where the controversy took another dramatic turn. Breanna Stewart, a multi-time champion, MVP, and one of the most respected voices in women's basketball, was suddenly pulled into the conversation. Stewart has generally avoided commenting on the internal issues of other teams, but the growing controversy surrounding Indiana sparked widespread discussion about what she might think of the situation. Online claims suggested that Stewart had criticized StephanieWhite's handling of CaitlinClark and questioned whether the Fever were properly supporting their franchise star. However, there is no verified evidence that Stewart actually made the explosive statements circulating online, so those quotes should be treated as unconfirmed. Still, the reaction from fans was enormous. Supporters of Clark argued that the situation demonstrated exactly what they had been criticizing for weeks. Indiana needed to find a better way to maximize its biggest offensive weapon. The debate quickly spread across social media, with fans demanding accountability from the coaching staff and front office. As the speculation continued, pressure on the Fever organization appeared to increase. If the team were ever to consider disciplinary action against Clark, the backlash could be enormous, especially given her importance to the franchise and the league's growing audience. Sponsors, fans, players, and league officials would all be watching closely. The controversy has therefore become much bigger than one coach or one player. It is now a debate about leadership, communication, accountability, and the future direction of the Indiana Fever. Whether the allegations prove true or not, the growing scrutiny has placed StephanieWhite and the organization under an intense spotlight.
Shout out to Patrick Benadavid because he spoke a lot and reacted to what Sophie Cunningham said about Kathy Future in the league. Let's listen to
Sophie
Patrick.
Cunningham hints at WNBA commissioner shakeup as she goes after Kathy Engelbert. I do feel like as a whole that could be a position that's maybe open at the end of the year. What are you talking about?
Told you.
That means the commissioner positions may be open at the end of the year. She added, Kathy Engelbert's done a lot of good things, but with where our league is trying to go, I feel like you just want someone who also wants that. That's up to the NBA commissioner, Adam Silver, at the end of the day. Sophie Cunningham is calling out directly saying, Adam, at the end of the day, you're the top brass. You got to make a decision.
I was thinking about this the other day, and it's almost as if this was a plan, Tom, like an attempt to bring some attention to a sport. Yes, they're making the money, but it's just unwatchable. Look at the attention, guys. This is, I think, what, the 4th week. We're talking about it. We have so many issues that we talk about. They're bringing this, they're doing that, transgenders this, all this type of situation.
Yeah.
I think this might be a real, purposeful ploy to bring people and eyeballs and everything. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they actually let some biological men come on that court, because at least it would make it watchable. I tried, I'm not even joking, I tried to watch a couple of minutes, and just watching, what's her name? Reese what's her name?
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese laying up. It's
Some people called her. She's good. She's like the Jordan of.
The Jordan. I think it was Ari Spears. He said something like she looked like a baby giraffe trying to stand. Like, they can't even move. I think it's just all a play because it's unwatchable. But it's like the attention that they're trying to get is unbelievable. But I respect Sophie Cunningham because, Tom, what's the word that you said?
Authentic and fair.
And there's two words too. I'm going to add on top of that. Common sense.
Whoa. That was Patrick Benaday.
But the biggest blow did not come from Breanna Stewart or the frustrated fans. It came from CaitlinClark herself. After weeks of staying composed, taking the high road, and avoiding public confrontation, Clark finally addressed the growing controversy. Online claims suggested she was furious over allegations that StephanieWhite wanted disciplinary action against her, but those claims remain unverified. Still, the speculation surrounding their relationship continued to grow. When Clark eventually spoke publicly, fans closely examined every word for clues about her feelings toward the organization. Rather than launching a personal attack, she emphasized her commitment to basketball, winning, and being part of a team built around accountability and trust. Her comments immediately fueled another wave of discussion across social media. Supporters viewed them as a powerful message, while others argued that the situation had been exaggerated online. Either way, Clark's response added another major chapter to the ongoing Fever controversy.
Lane right here. So there's an inside lane right here. CaitlinClark is about to hit this lane. StephanieWhite knows it. Boom, lane. Now, CaitlinClark did get the shot block, but I believe she was fouled on that play. But it's plays like that, and then it's situations like this that I believe CaitlinClark is subliminally telling us she do not like StephanieWhite. I don't give a damn what no one says. What no one says, bro. She ain't rocking with her, dog. Now, Kelsey Mitchell and StephanieWhite was all laughs after a loss today. It was all smiles and a presser. They trying to, like, not be mad, but they mad. Now, I'm not going to play this whole press conference. We're going to watch some of it. Shout out to Tony Eastman. If you guys ain't subscribed to his channel, make sure you guys going on over there and show that brother some love. We're finna listen to some of this, and we're gonna dissect it. We're not gonna play the whole 9 minutes.
Kelsey, obviously.
So y'all see smiles, smiling faces. Lexi even smiling. Everybody smiling. Why are we smiling right now? What is it to be happy about? Why we happy? Y'all just lost to one of the worst teams in the league. But we smiling.
Kelsey, obviously, as a result, you all wanted, but personally, you set the record for 2 consecutive games tonight. Let's go through your last couple of days that have been kind of, up and down after Toronto, and then what's it mean to set that?
I think that it's a part of the game. So for one, I just want to, congratulate my team for making me look good. But I think ultimately it just
all smiles. Thanking her team for making her look good because the offense is ran through who? Kelsey.
CaitlinClark did not need to scream or use profanity. She simply pointed back to the game film and argued that the footage should speak for itself. Her comments fueled speculation that a deeper conflict existed between her and the coaching staff. Online, fans interpreted her words as a challenge to Indiana's leadership to decide what direction the franchise wanted to take. Meanwhile, unverified reports claimed tensions inside the locker room were increasing and that some players were distancing themselves from the controversy. There has been no confirmed evidence that StephanieWhite attempted to sabotage or suspend Clark, but the allegations have intensified scrutiny surrounding the Fever. Now, the organization faces growing pressure to address the situation and clarify its plans moving forward.
This is all a play because it's unwatchable. But it's like the attention that they're trying to get is unbelievable. But I respect Sophie Cunningham because, Tom, what's the word that you said?
Authentic and fair.
And there's two words too. I'm going to add on top of that. Common sense.
Whoa. That was Patrick Benaday. Now, this is what Fox is saying.
Silence for advocating for women's sports. Furthermore, the WNBA and its partners may have exposed themselves to a legal liability by censoring fans' viewpoints. Your first reaction to this, Caitlin?
Well, I think they're absolutely right. You know, to Sophie's point about the lack of leadership in the league right now, it really seems like leadership in the league, whether it's Engelbert or other officials involved, are too cowardly to take out their frustration with Sophie directly. So they're taking out their frustrations on her fans instead, whether that's making them cover up their XXXY shirts or making them take down posters in support of Sophie Cunningham at some of these games. It's completely inappropriate because theirs are the only viewpoints that are being silenced by the league right now. And, you know, I hope that the lesson that some of the other WNBA players or even female athletes in general take from this entire saga and from Sophie's example is that there's no point in trying to be neutral on this issue. We think about CaitlinClark. Look, I get it. She doesn't want to wade into what she believes is a cultural debate. She wants to focus on playing the game instead. But has that made the players who directly target her every single time that she enters the court, has that made them any more nice to her on the court? Has that made her be targeted even less? Has it made the league officials more willing to publicly defend her? No, she's still getting the exact same treatment as before. So you might as well find the courage of conviction here and do the right thing.
Yeah, and look, I know it Independent Women features your leadership, and I'm wondering if there are other women across the country and consortiums like that who are ready to come out and join Sophie Cunningham very publicly. Your last quick thought, we'll move forward.
Yeah, I mean, female athletes are involved in this debate whether they want to be or not, because the central question is whether we as women have the right to our own distinct spaces in sports teams. So good for Sophie for speaking up, and I hope others will join her.
And the irony of that, Kaylee, we were told for so long as a country, women in this country.
The WNBA is in chaos, and the drama is nowhere near finished. Now I want to hear from you. Should StephanieWhite be fired over the alleged suspension attempt? What did you think of Breanna Stewart defending CaitlinClark? And how powerful was Caitlin's final statement? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, subscribe to Clark Fever Hoops, and turn on notifications.